Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out my latest video. So today's video, I'm going to give you guys a quick breakdown of Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter taking place September 28th. So when we first look at Shawn Porter, let's first talk about him. He's small for 147 pounds, but he's physically very, very strong. He's small height-wise, but he's a fighter that likes to get inside. He likes to be very aggressive. He'll lead with his head. He doesn't mind fighting you dirty. He's very rough and tough. He likes to throw out left hook to the body, right hook to the body, and come up top with left hooks and right hooks to the head. Athletic fighter. He's been in there with some good competition against Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, to name a few fighters. Also Devin Alexander. So Shawn Porter is very experienced. He used to spar with Manny Pacquiao for years. A wild card gym. Now we look at Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a fighter with an excellent jab. He's a fighter who breaks down fighters to the body. Well schooled by his trainer Derek James. Olympic talent as well, Errol Spence. A counter puncher. He's very good head control with his lead hand. Southpaw, so he does a lot of things very well. Now looking at this fight, guys, some advantages going into the matchup for both of these fighters. I believe that Shawn Porter has the edge in experience, and I thought he actually has fought better fighters currently in his career. I also think, even though he's given up the height and the reach, I think Shawn Porter might be physically the stronger fighter of the two fighters. So those are some advantages Shawn Porter has in this fight. Also for Errol Spence, I think the advantages he has in this matchup, I think he is the bigger, I'm talking about height and reach advantage in this matchup in that aspect. I also believe that he has the better punching power of the two fighters. And I also believe that Errol Spence, he has the better body shots of the two fighters, and he has more variety in his game. You'll see him, he's more consistent with the body. He uses a more variety of attacks. I just believe that Errol Spence also has a better defense as well, utilizes that high guard, and he is a better counter puncher. So there's a lot of advantages going to Errol Spence, and he's also the fresher fighter, having not taken any damage so far in his career or anything like that. So when I look at this fight, guys, I believe Errol Spence will win a unanimous decision in this matchup. I don't think Porter's going to be a pushover like people think he is. The reason why I say that is Porter, he makes these fights rough and tough, and I don't know if Errol Spence has ever fought a guy like Shawn Porter, a guy who's in his face, leading with his head, who can cause him cuts, he can elbow him in the head. He's very aggressive, and he's always constantly working, and he's a very physical fighter. I don't know if Errol Spence has ever fought a guy like that, honestly, and so far in his pro career. So I don't think Porter is going to be a pushover by any sense of the imagination. I'm interested to see how Errol Spence deals with him if Shawn Porter is dirty in this fight and causes him some issues in that regards. We're going to really see a different kind of Errol Spence, I think. He's going to have to use his size, his physicality, and use his infighting like he's done in previous fights is going to lead him to a victory. Now, the keys for Shawn Porter in this fight, like I said, he's going to make this fight dirty if he wants to win. And honestly, in my opinion, I think that Porter, really when you look at him as a fighter, I think his best avenue to win this fight will be him constantly backing up Errol Spence. And when he has Errol Spence in the corner, he's got to use a different variety of punches. He can't be predictable. And also the way he closes distance in this fight, he's got to have a game plan for that. He can't just come walk straight ahead, because that's where you get hurt against a guy like Errol Spence. You got to use angles to come inside and try to do some damage against Errol Spence. Ultimately, guys, I think that Errol Spence can keep this fight on the outside using his jab. And on the inside, Errol Spence also is a very good fighter in that avenue as well. So I just believe there's too many advantages, in my opinion, that belong to Errol Spence in this fight. I think Shawn Porter might have a little bit better hand speed, honestly, in my opinion, is another advantage for Porter. But I just think Errol Spence has too many tools in his arsenal right now for Shawn Porter currently in his career. Ultimately, I got Errol Spence, guys, by unanimous decision. Let me know what you guys think on this fight. Ultimately, I think this fight, it's going to be interesting to see, because I think these guys could have a lot of clinches and things like that. So it might not be the greatest style fight we've seen. But hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully we get a great fight, guys. Let me know what you guys saw in the video, who you guys got in this fight, and definitely tune in September 28th. Joseph Benavidez is also going to be on that fight card as well.